The first one is the Play and Learn weekly activities. And this includes the weekly activities you're watching right now, the design and build challenges, which is the hands-on and like really like technical component of the challenge. And we will release our first challenge on Fridays this week. We also have additional activities and surprises, and I can announce one, which is a chat with the scientists. Our first chat with the scientists tomorrow evening. Look at your email for more details, and you can just chat and connect with the real scientists. The final part of the challenge is the final culminating event. So it's going to be in the spring, in May, and we'll have a final competition day with a quiz, and you will compete against like people from across the will try to win some prizes. And the final engineering challenge, again, competing against each other and making sure that you are best. But do we have prizes for the weekly activities too? Yes, we do. So you can also win participation prizes for the weekly activities.
Yeah, so one way to think, I was just going to say, one thing to think of it is these 10 weeks, they're kind of like we're training for the Olympics. We're doing some qualifying things, qualifying races, whatever. These are practices. And then that culminating event, that final competition day, that big deal in May, that's the big show. That's where we're really, 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 really going to be counting on points and stuff like that to see which individual team, whatever, will be top. Okay, so these are practices that will help train you for that final event.
And the prizes for the weekly activities. So for the weekly quizzes, you need to attend the live quiz or watch the recording to hear the secret password. After the quiz, you will need to fill out the online participation form with the password. And if your answer is correct, you will receive a badge and you will be eligible for the weekly draws. I know now you're probably like, what is the secret password? How would this work and everything? And just wait. We will let you know when it's time to write it down, and we will also talk about the participation form at the end. Finally, really quickly, talking about the prices for the design build. So you will have to record a video of your solution to the challenge and submit it on Flipgrid, and you will be automatically eligible for a prize. If you want more details about prices, or if you're like, what it is, what to do, look in your weekly email. If you're not the adult that registered for this, ask the adults who registered you for this. They know everything about it. It's all in the emails.
Yeah, they're going to post information because that's exactly those emails and information and all that to go to. So make sure you talk to them. That's the key thing. All right, rules for today, super simple. So you can keep track of your score on the score sheet if you printed it off. Don't freak out if you didn't. Piece of paper, whatever you want to use, like if you're keeping track on a tablet, phone, another computer, whatever you want. Try not to open your notes and study handbook because that's kind of cheating. We don't want to do that. Like I'm going to cheat a little bit today because I'm going to trick you into learning, although I just said it. I'm sorry. You can work in. Oh, sorry.
I mention, don't worry if you didn't study the handbook. There's no handbook for this week. It's just for fun. It's just a practice to kind of give you like a little bit of feeling of what to expect. Next week, though, you will need to study.
Yeah, there will be chapters, exactly.
But this week is just no need to worry about that.
It's totally fine to work in teams as long as, again, because the way things are right now, please do that safely. Don't crowd around like 10 people in one space unless you're like a family, and that's totally fine. Or a group that's, in a bubble or whatever. If you're doing this online, maybe working with a friend of yours, totally fine. And the last thing is, again, please don't spam the Q&A because it's 2 people and they're going to do their absolute best to help you. All right, and we're going to be doing 8 questions for a total of 10 points. Sounds like some interesting math. Maybe some of those questions are worth more than 1 point, but we will explain that when we get to those. All right, so the way it's going to work is it's broken into 3 rounds. The first round will be multiple choice. So generally that'll be 1 question with the potential for, there'll be several options for answers, and usually it'll be 1 correct answer. If it's something different, I'll definitely let you know. And there's going to be a 25-second timer. So the question will come up. There's going to be a bunch of answers. Sabina's going to pop up that window. You're going to pick your answer and click submit when you think it's right. We're going to wait for the timer to end, and then we're going to share the results. Round 2, true or false. Super simple. We're going to put up a statement. Is that statement correct? Is it true? or is it false? It's a 50-50 chance, and you're going to choose true or false. Same thing, it's going to pop up. We're going to wait for the timer to tick down, and then we will share it. And then the visual one could be dealing with image, could be dealing with visual, video, yeah, something visual is what we'll be sort of giving the question. And there's going to be 5 categories. So STEM in context. So STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. General knowledge. Again, I know some people from last year knew that I liked studying, and I did study military history. This is not questions about generals from wars and history past. Nothing like that. This is general knowledge, things that the average person might know. Multidisciplinary kind of means maybe dealing with some different sorts of topics tied to STEM. Last year, we did have some like pop culture type ones, so things kind of like that. Career, we'll be dealing with jobs in STEM, and reading will be things that might be tied when you like to something you studied or an article that you may have had to read to be able to study. But this week, like Emmanuel said, we're dipping our toe in the water for the first time. So don't worry, nothing too serious here. First round, we are doing multiple choice. If we are ready to begin, can I get some hands up, please? I want to make sure we're good to go. This week was a bit heavy on the rules and stuff because it might be some people's first time. So apologies. The following weeks we're going to be less heavy on the front end. Perfect. All right. We got more than half of the people. You can put your hands down. Don't want to get me that tired, right? Those little digital hands. Miles, are you ready? So ready. That was me doing that voice. Don't worry. It wasn't it? All right. Let's move forward. So let's see what the first category is. All right. We are dealing with general knowledge. So you can sort of see here, you have the question. There are 4 options. That little yellow explosion is going to be our timer. It's going to be 25 seconds. You can see that it explains the category. And in the bottom right, 1 point. So here we go for all the marbles, or 1 point's worth of marbles. What is the layer in Earth's stratosphere that absorbs UV radiation? Yeah, not of radiation. Is it the atmosphere, ozone layer, thermosphere, or mesosphere? Sabina, can you pop up the answers, please, or the answer sheet? I'm now going to start the timer. You're going to hear it. So you should be picking one of those answers that you think is correct and then clicking submit. So what is the layer in the Earth's stratosphere that absorbs UV radiation? Atmosphere, ozone layer, thermosphere, or mesosphere? What do you think? All right, so I can see answers coming in. Almost everyone has answered. We're getting a high response rate right now. A few more seconds left. Boom. All right. So let's lock those in and we'll share. Okay, so it's pretty close, it looks like, in terms of atmosphere and thermosphere for answers. The least popular answer was mesosphere, and the most popular is ozone. One thing to remember, just because ozone is orange doesn't necessarily mean that's the correct answer. I haven't revealed yet. Zoom automatically makes the most popular answer orange. If you've done these quizzes in the past, you'll know it happens sometimes that the bulk of the audience actually gets it wrong. So don't worry. Let's see what the actual answer is for 1 point. It is ozone layer. So in this case, yes, if you picked B, that orange bar, give yourself 1 point. All right, let's move forward. Let's see what that is. We're looking at STEM in context. All right, so which of the following was the first successful vaccine to be developed? Was it measles, rubella, mumps, or smallpox? What do you think? Sabina, can you pop it up? Perfect. Here we go. Going to start that timer. You got 25 seconds. We're talking vaccines here. The first successful. Measles, rubella, mumps, or smallpox? Miles, do you think there are big pox? What do you think? No. He knows I'm wrong. He knows there are no big pox. Chicken pox, smallpox, polka dots. I don't know. I don't think there's a polka dot disease. Don't worry. All right. Okay, let's take a look. All right, so top answer is at smallpox. Second place, we are looking measles. Third place, rubella, and a little bit behind is mumps. All right, let's take a look at what the correct answer is. And if you picked smallpox, yep, it looks like the bulk of the audience did there. If you picked smallpox, please give yourself 1 point. Awesome. Do we have any questions coming in, Emmanuel, Sabina, from folks that we need to share? We're all good? Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. I remember Emmanuel saying something about a secret password. I think this is the part where we talk about that password. All right. So the word vaccine comes from the Latin word vaccine, that's derived from the Latin adjectives meaning of or relating to cows. Moo. That's right. This word in turn was based on the noun vacca, meaning cow. It all came from the cowpox viral material that Dr. Jenner used for the injections of the new smallpox vaccine. See, remember she mentioned there was a password that you should take note of to put in your participation sheet? That's what the writing in red is. So when you're going to be asked for that password later, right, when you're submitting your participation stuff, of or relating to cows. Okay, that's what vaccine means. So make sure that you have that moo moo moo. I guess you could say that by using that material, the smallpox disease really had to move over. I'm sorry, that was terrible. That was a terrible, terrible joke. My colleagues are laughing. They're very polite. I thank them for laughing. I'm sorry. These are bad jokes. Miles is shaking his head, and he's an inanimate object. He hated that. All right. So make sure you got that password. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Charles, I just want to say that we're not the only one laughing because we do have multiple comments in the Q&A saying that they love your dad jokes and you're so funny. So
The best part is I'm not even a dad. So when I am a dad, like that poor kid's gonna hear some horrible jokes. I'm glad you're enjoying these. It's been a long day, and sometimes I get a little loopy. So happy you're enjoying these. All right. So remember that password of or related to cows. All right. Let's see where we're going next. Yes. So we're gonna be doing a video one here. So what's gonna happen in a sec is I'm gonna start this video. Emily Webster here from Scholars Choice is gonna talk to us. Don't worry if you can't hear her question at all. Okay, like you should be able to, but if you don't worry about it. Two, if you didn't catch all the information, don't worry about it, because once this is done, I'm actually going to share a screen that's going to have the question and the answers. Okay, so I'm just going to play this here from Emily, and here we go.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a social media and partnership coordinator at Scholars Choice located in London, Ontario. The question is, due to Canada being a massive country, it's hard to keep track of time. What do we call these divisions of time across the country and the world? A, a time warp. B, hour zones. C, time areas. D, time zones. Good luck answering the question and have fun.
Awesome, thank you, Emily. Let us go. Oops, let's go to the next page. So this is what. Oops, I'm gonna make sure that is hiding there. Perfect. This is what Emily was asking. So what do we call the divisions of time across our country and the world? Time warp, hour zones, time areas, or time zones? And I will start the timer for you. Yeah, because it's kind of different, right? Like how time is different across Canada. You might have remembered that I mentioned something about time at the beginning. I used one of these words because it's 7:22 where I am here in Ottawa, but I think it's a little bit different for someone in British Columbia, or if we have anyone joining us from Newfoundland. There's, of course, there's places in between. Those are just two places I was going to name. I'm not going to name all of them because we're going to be here forever. All right, so let's lock in those answers and take a look. Okay, so just a wee bit of you said time warp, and even another sort of small slice said hour zones. A smaller number said time areas, and the bulk of you said time zones. So let's take a look at the answer. Give yourself 1 point if you said time zones. Here's the question. Is anyone actually, raise your hand if you are in the Atlantic provinces. Let's say east of Quebec. Is anyone there? We got some. So it's 7:23 for me right now. But if these folks are in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, it's 8:23 for them. We're occupying the same thing right now. We're doing the exact same thing, but it's later. And if they're Newfoundland, this is awesome. Newfoundland's got like a little one. They got a little extra time. Newfoundland, it would be 8:53. Do you got anybody in British Columbia right now joining us? Can you put your hand up if you are? We got a couple of British Columbians. So for them, they're like, Charles, you're living in the future. For them, if I'm correct, it is 4:23 p.m. Like, dude, they haven't even had dinner yet. I'm full. This is crazy. Time zones. And the person who helped pioneer them, Sir Sanford Fleming. And if you ever watch those old little Heritage Moment commercials, you'll see one about him talking about standard time. Awesome. We got people from coast to coast to coast. I dig it.
Charles, can you maybe just after this thing,
Yeah, sorry. What's up?
can you explain why we can see more than 100%?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about the weird numbers. The reason for that, and glad if this is your situation, it's totally fine. You may notice that some people might be logged in using the same link. So let's say I'm just going to make one up. Hopefully no one's named Mrs. Jones, but let's say Mrs. Jones' class was here and she shared that to her 30 students. If the 30 students all pick an answer, Mrs. Jones voting 30 times. Does that make sense? It's like you're adding multiple votes. That's why. That's why this year I'm not using the percentages, because they don't make sense. So don't worry. It's not like you did super awesome if you picked D, because that was 106% of people answered. That's not what it is. 162 of 174 people picked that, so that's not 106%. That's the only reason that's happening, that the numbers might happen. So please don't worry. If you are in Mrs. Jones' class, just making this up, don't worry. You don't have to change anything. It's all good. It's perfect. Don't worry about it. Okay. So which of the following food items contain lactic acid produced by bacteria? Is it coffee? Please don't drink coffee, especially if you're young. Is it oranges? Always good for you. Is it cheese, or is it none of the above? What do you think? Let's start that timer. So we're looking for a food that contains lactic acid produced by bacteria. Is that coffee? Again, if you're younger than, certain age, you probably shouldn't be drinking coffee. Plus, you'd be like super hyper, like this. Is it oranges? Would it be cheese? Or are you thinking, you know what, man, Charles, I don't know what you're doing here. It's none of those things. I know it's watermelon. Just making it up. A few seconds left to go. Lock it in. Boom. All right, let's take a look at what people are saying. All right, so the least popular answer was coffee. The next least popular answer would be oranges. None of the above takes second place, but the most popular answer would be cheese. Let's take a look for 1 point what the correct answer is. It is cheese. And if you were here last year, you'll know that I have an obsession with chicken wings. Also delicious. I don't know if it contains any of those. Well, I guess if you dip your wing in blue cheese, boom, blue cheese dressing, you're getting some of that bacteria. Eating lots of chicken wings is not healthy. I've learned that over the pandemic. You may notice I'm slightly bigger than I was when you last joined me last year. This is what happens. I'm sorry. But yeah, oranges, good for you. Get some vitamin C. Make sure you don't get scurvy in case you're crossing the Atlantic Ocean in the 17th century. Perfect. Coffee. Yeah, maybe don't drink it if you're young. All right, let's keep moving on. Wait, Sabina, do you have a favorite cheese? I know we've talked about this before.
I'm gonna go with feta cheese.
Feta, keeping it simple. I dig it. What about you, Emmanuel? Do you got one?
I just love every cheese, but I'm lactose intolerant.
Yes,
so
that's right.
I would say just because it's getting me sick, but from time to time, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so my favorite probably are all of the lactose-free cheese.
Nice. I live in a house divided by cheese. My wife likes a soft cheese. I like a hard old cheese with a mild bit of a little bit of stinky, a little bit of a gym sock action. That's what I like. Yeah. Not too stinky though. That's gross. It's not gross. If you like stinky cheese, totally fine. Totally fine. All right, let's keep moving. All right, going multidisciplinary. On va parler en français un petit peu. All right. How do you say engineering in French? Interesting. Is it construction? Is it ingénierie? Is it engin? Or is it science? I know it's a different language, but you might be able to work this one out. Let's start that timer. On va parler en français un petit peu. Comment est-ce qu'on va dire ce mot? How are we going to say engineering in French? Construction, ingénierie, engin, science. Two of those words look exactly the same way I'd write it in English. So those other ones look a little bit different, but maybe they're kind of similar in terms of the sound and a little bit in some of the letters being used. What do you think? Perfect. All right, let's lock it in and let's take a look. All right, so construction appears to be the third most popular, or sorry, that was second place in terms of answers. And sorry, I said construction. I said it in English. I'm sorry. Construction seems to be the one in second place. Ingénierie seems to take the top spot. Engin is in third place, and science is in last place. So let's take a look
engineer.
at what the correct answer is. Si vous avez dit ingénierie, 1 point. If you don't understand that, don't worry. If you picked ingénierie, 1 point.
Wow.
What did we do?
The
Did we
magic
do-
got it right.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Hey.
Maybe you guys want to try the French quiz. I don't know.
Yeah, for the people out there, and I know some answered like in the Q&A that you speak French. Si vous parlez français et que vous voulez faire les jeux questionnaires aussi en français, demandez de vous inscrire pour les jeux questionnaires en français et vous allez pouvoir participer avec moi. Et just a little thing, it double your chance to have prizes.
Double dip the healthy way. No bacteria in the bowl of salsa. You can do the English quiz and the French quiz.
And or not mention it. No, it's not all the same question in French and in English. We try each week to have at least half of the questions that are completely different. So even if you do both quiz the same week, you will still have new question that you haven't seen before.
Awesome. Sabina, can I ask you a question? I
Sure.
have been told that you speak Romanian. Is this true?
Yep, that's true.
How do you say engineering in Romanian?
It's inginerie, which is very similar to the French word.
That's wild. That's like a totally different place. Both in, if we're talking France, French, I mean, that obviously came to Canada. If we're talking France itself, Romania, both in Europe, still a fair bit of difference and fairly different languages. Like if you told me a whole sentence in Romanian, I don't know if I get all of it, but it's amazing to see the connections in some of those words.
They're
Really, really
both
cool.
rooted in Latin, so that's why.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for teaching us some Romanian.
Anytime.
All right. We are now moving into round 2. We're going to be doing true or false. Again, don't freak out. Remember, this is 50-50. It's a flip of a coin. If you're not too sure, give it a try. You might get it right. Okay, so let's see where we're going next. Okay. True or false? The basic unit of life is an atom. What do you think? All right, so we're going to pop up that window there. And once that comes up, I will start the timer. And here we go. So true or false? The basic unit of life is an atom. I mentioned this yesterday. We did this quiz at a different time yesterday for people who might not be able to make it at this time. That I was always confused by this word when I was really little and I was learning about science at first. Because I had a friend named Adam. It sounds a lot like Adam. I think Adam has atoms in him. That's just a terrible tongue twister. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, this is interesting. This is very, very, very close. All right. The basic unit of life is an atom. Most of you picked true. And a few of you, well, like less than the folks who picked true, picked false. For 1 point, the answer is false. Oh my goodness. So this is one of those instances where more people, even though it's orange, picked the incorrect answer. Don't feel bad. Yesterday's group, the exact same thing. I'm going to give you a bit of an explanation. I am made of atoms. Do you know what else is made of atoms? My beloved little Miles Morales action figure. There's a difference, though. I got cells in me. Plenty of cells. Makes me a wonderful organism. This guy does not have cells. It'd be awesome. Like, if he could run around, it'd be kind of freaky if I was like asleep and he's like running around with my cats and stuff. I would love it if he were alive, but he isn't an inanimate object. This computer that I'm using, this headset that I'm using to talk to you, lots and lots of atoms, not got the cells in them. That's what I have inside of me. That's what you got. Those are the basic units of life. Both very, very, very small, but slightly different there. All right, so if you picked false, you'd be in the minority here. Give yourself 1 point. All right, let's go see what the next category is. Sprint. So what happens normally with the sprint is, and sometimes it might be one question with a bunch of multiple choice things that you can pick lots of them. Like you have to pick 5 correct answers out of 10. In this one, what's going to happen in a sec is there's actually going to be 3 questions. So I'm not showing you yet because I don't want you to jump the gun. I'm going to read the questions. Sabine is going to put the answer, like the little window up again. But this is one of those instances where you have to pick the answer to your first one, then pick the answer to the second one, then pick the answer to the third one, then click submit, okay? Because if you submit, boom, you have not answered questions 2 or 3, okay? Or if you pick 1, 2, 3, and you don't click submit and time runs out, we don't get your answers, okay? So that's the key thing. And this timer is actually going to be 45 seconds longer. So it's going to be longer. Sorry, it's going to be 45 seconds long. So it'll be 20 seconds longer than the normal one. Question 1, and these are all true or false. True or false? Climate refers to short-term local changes such as rain and snow. Question 2, heat getting trapped close to the Earth's surface is known as the greenhouse effect. Question 3, the rising temperature of the sun is one of the primary causes of global warming. All of those are true or false. What do you think? So Sabina's going to put that up. I'm going to start the timer for you. You have 45 seconds. One thing to keep in mind when you're answering these, if you don't know, don't worry about it. Give it a try. This is not all or nothing. It's not like to get 3 points, you have to get every single one correct. If you get one of them correct, you get 1 point out of 3. Totally fine. If you get 2 of them, 2 out of 3. If you get 0, well, that's 0. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, okay? So do your best. If you're not too sure, take a risk. Like I said, it's 50-50, one or the other. And these are all true or false. All right, so the answers are coming in. We got about nearing 80% of the audience is answered. All right, 5 to 10-ish seconds left. If you haven't answered yet, make sure you get it in. Almost there. Boom. Okay. So let's take a look. So climate refers to short-term local changes such as rain and snow. So more people picked false there. Number 2, heat getting trapped close to Earth's surface is known as the greenhouse effect. More people picked true. And last but not least, the rising temperature of the sun is one of the primary causes of global warming. More people picked false. So let's take a look. I'll keep them up there too if you gotta wait a little bit to see what the answer was. All right, to keep track of your score. So question 1, if you picked false, 1 point. Question 2, true. So if you pick that, 1 point. And question number 3 is false, 1 point. Okay. So if you got all of those, you get 3 points. If you only got 2 of them, 2 points. If you only got 1 of them, 1 point. So 1 is false, 2 is true, 3 is false. Before moving on, Sabina or Emmanuel, do we have any pressing questions from the audience at all? No? Quiet so far? All right. Well, quiet in terms of questions that we need to ask everyone. I want to make sure the audience is okay moving on. I know sometimes the sprint takes a little bit more time to calculate. Can you put your hand up to let me know that you are good to go? I want to make sure that we got a good majority of the audience before we move forward. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. You can put your hands down. Thank you very, very much. We are going to move on to the next question, which is the last one, dealing with visuals. And in this instance, we are going to be talking about careers, so some STEM and job stuff. And we're going to be watching a video. So I'm going to show you the question here. They're going to explain a little bit of this in the video. And then at the end, again, don't freak out. Don't worry. We're going to show you the question again. And then you're going to be able to answer. So what is the hottest? A boiling pot of water, lava, the surface of the sun, or a welding arc? So the answer to that question is in the next video from Elena Margolin from CWB Welding Foundation. So I'm going to start the video.
Hello, bonjour. I'm here to tell you about welding. Well, what is welding? Welding is taking 2 pieces of metal and sticking them together using an electric arc and a filler metal. Well, what do? Right now I'm a manager with UA Canada, which is the United Association of Plumbers and Fitters. Before becoming a manager, I was a welder and a welding instructor. I have my Red Seal Journeyman welding ticket, and that means that I can work as a welder anywhere in Canada. For my welding certificate, I took 3 years of apprenticeship, which means I got to work for 10 months, go to school for 2 months, work for 10 months, school for 2 months, and so forth. It means I was able to still work and make money while I'm receiving an education. It's a win-win. So, as a welder, I can work in so many different industries. I personally work in the piping industry, which deals with high-pressure welds like pipelines, refineries, manufacturing. The skills in this industry are incredibly high, and we need to ensure that they stay that way. These welds need to be done perfectly. There's no room for error. We even get our welds x-rayed to make sure that they're perfect all the way through. This is a fun but very challenging environment. But you can also weld structural like bridges, vehicles, railways. These all take skill too. Honestly, anything that's made of metal can be welded. It gives you an opportunity to be very creative. But I think what's even cooler is the power that you have in your hands. Let's think of something really hot. For example, a boiling pot of water. That's about 100 degrees Celsius. How about lava? That's about 10 times hotter, 1,000 degrees Celsius. What about the surface of the sun? 5,505 degrees Celsius? Do you think there's anything on Earth that's possibly hotter than that? Well, there sure is, and it's a welding arc. As you can see here, this is welding. And the electric arc that's created here is over 5,500 degrees Celsius, and it's not even the hottest one that we deal with. We can also do plasma torch cutting, and that reaches temperatures over 27,000 degrees Celsius. If that's not crazy cool, I don't know what is. Yeah, maybe it sounds a little dangerous and a little bit scary, but with all your proper protective equipment, safety protocols in place, welding is safe, it is fun, it's exciting, and it's definitely a career you can be proud of. I get to drive by all these sites and say, hey, look, that's there because I helped build it. It takes skill, knowledge, dedication to become a great welder. And it's a career that opens so many doors. You really never know how much you're going to like something until you give it a try.
All right, so let's go. I'm just gonna make that disappear. So based on what Alana was saying, she had a really cool welding mask in the background, by the way. I don't know if you can see that depending on your screen. It looks like it had some really like sort of stylized wolves and bears and stuff. Really, really cool. I don't know if that's for show or if she wears it at work because it looked pretty clean and pristine. All right, so what is the hottest in the following choices? If you remember what she said, was it a boiling pot of water? Was it lava? Was it the surface of the sun? Or was it a welding arc? What do you think? Let's start the timer. And this one is 25 seconds long. I wonder if she'd let me use her welding arc to make a grilled cheese. I mean, it'd make it like super fast or like a pizza pocket or something. Or if I had like multiple pounds of chicken wings, like 10 seconds. That sounds really... Yeah, I was gonna say, it might burn my food and kill it pretty bad, and it's probably not the safest use of that equipment. But man, it'd be fast. All right, let's take a look. Nobody picked a boiling pot of water. Nobody picked lava. A few of you picked the surface of the sun, and the majority of you picked the welding arc. Let's take a look at the answer, and the answer is a welding arc. And I might say something here, Emmanuel, correct me if I'm wrong, but just to make your life a little bit easier. Yesterday, a lot of people were like, hey, I heard the sun is like 10 billion degrees hot. That's not true. Well, there's actually a difference is depending where you are on the sun. If you're talking about the core is insanely hot. Your pizza pockets won't even make it that far. But the surface of the sun, incredibly hot, but not as hot as a welding arc. And you can actually hear what you're saying there. Depending on the type of welding arc that you were using, one is like crazy hot compared to the sun, and the other one's like insanely hot. If it was a flavor of chicken wing, I could not put that in my mouth, okay? So yes, the key word there was surface of the sun. Still incredibly hot. Don't touch the surface of the sun. I don't know how you would get there. Don't touch it. Too hot. So if you picked welding arc, give yourself 1 point. And that's it. That is week 1 done and dusted in the books. Do you want to explain this one, Emmanuel? What's going on next?
Yes, so that was all for today, but there's other things that are coming. So first thing is the participation form. You will receive the link. Well, the adult that registered, you will receive the link for the participation form later tomorrow, and they will be able to share it with you. So don't forget the password. Charles, do you want to say it again? Just to
Of or related to cows. I don't know moo anymore. I'm sorry. But yes, think about moo-moos. It's cow related.
cow related. So that's for the participation form. The other thing that is coming really soon is the design build challenges. So the first one is going to be released on Friday. It's going to be our chemistry one, and it's going to be on Flipgrid. If you don't know what Flipgrid is, what Flipgrid, it's getting late. What Flipgrid is, don't worry. The adult that registered you will also receive all of the information tomorrow in the email. So don't worry about that. And finally, next week's gonna stop next week quiz chemistry. And for this one, you will need to study the handbook, the chemistry chapter. It's available online on our website. You can also find a printable version in the Google folder. And if you're looking for something else, you can also ask the adult that registered you or reach out to us. I just also want to mention, if you are wondering when will be next week quiz, at what time, so you can join again same time, same day next week. We also offer it 2 other times in English and 2 times in French. If you want to register for the French, because I see that there's people asking, yes, we do have a design and build challenge in French. We do have the quiz in French. We have everything available in French. You just need to register for this whole entire challenge too, and you will receive all of the information for it.
Yeah, so like Emmanuel was saying, so yesterday was the first time we did the English one. We did that at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So the reason this year we're offering more of them at different times is to accommodate everyone. You don't have to put your hands up. I know some folks said they were here from BC. 10 a.m. Eastern time here is like 7 a.m. for them. I don't know if the teachers and grown-ups and the students really want to do a quiz at 7 a.m., which is why we offer other options. And the next English one will be Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So the one on Tuesday is kind of like the original broadcast, and these are kind of like reruns that you can watch. So you can do them at any time that you'd like. And of course, if you're watching a recording, well, you found us at another time that was suitable to you. And one little pro tip about reading the handbook. This is for both you students doing this and for the educators. If you think that's a lot of work and you can safely work in a team, you can maybe break up that chapter. And then what happens, especially if you're answering the questions as a team, then you have like your little content experts, right? Because maybe reading a whole chapter, this isn't a criticism. For some people, it's a lot. Some of you might be younger, some of you might be older. Some of the older folks be like, whole chapter, no problem. Other younger folks might be kind of intimidated. Try to break that chapter up with your teammates, with your friends. And then, like I said, this person will know like those pages of the chapter, this person will know those pages, and this person will know those pages. And you can talk to those people when questions related to those specific parts of the chapter come up. Make your life easy, guys. The world is weird right now. We want you to have fun. And again, I tricked you into learning, I hope. I hope you had a good time doing that. So first, huge thank you to Emily Webster from Scholars Choice and Alana Merklin from UA through the CWE Welding Foundation for the videos today. Really, really, really appreciate it. Again, it's really cool to have people right now all over Canada who can submit videos and show us about, talk to us about their workplaces and ask us questions and things like that, because we really can't go places much right now, right? All right, last bit, we would like for you to just fill out just a quick little exit survey. So Sabine is gonna pop that up. It's gonna be multiple questions, it's gonna be 4 questions. So please, if you could, answer all 4 and then click submit. And it's just asking if you knew what a welder did beforehand. Question 1, this experience with Let's Talk Science, so the challenge itself, did it increase your interest in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math? This experience with Let's Talk Science, did it make you want to potentially study some more science classes in high school and maybe later on eventually university or college, or if you want to do an apprenticeship? And even if it was just for fun, what was your score out of 10? And one thing I'll mention, Emmanuel asked this yesterday, and once you're done answering the survey quiz, you can put your hand up if you'd like to do this. It's all for fun, but we know people like competing. We know it. Everyone wants to be the best. What we're doing is, would you folks like to maybe compete with yesterday's English group and then Friday's English group? What we'll do is we'll see which one of these. So the 10 a.m. Tuesday group, this I'm using Eastern time, 10 a.m. Eastern group, the 7 p.m. Eastern group, Wednesday today, right now, you folks, or the Friday at 4 p.m. group, which one got the most correct answers? Do you guys want to do that? It would only be for bragging rights. If you want to do that, you can put your hands up. Maybe 7 p.m. people are like more chill and like more relaxed, and these like early birds at 10 a.m. All right. So it looks like a third of the group wants you. So We might do it again. We're not going to release names or anything or scores. We're not doing this to embarrass anyone. It's just bragging rights to be like, hey man, of the three groups, we're the smartest. All right. Are we good for responses there, Sabina? What's up, Emmanuel? Do you want to say something? Nope. Okay.
Yes, I just want to mention that we have an additional activity tomorrow. It was not on the slide, so tomorrow evening, 5:30 Eastern time. So I don't know where you are. So 1 hour 30 minutes before you join this, but tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. We have the chat with our scientists. It's gonna be super fun. You can meet like a medical student and doctor and really like real life scientists. And you don't have to register. You don't have to do anything. You just click on the same link that you click for joining here tonight, and you join us. And you can ask any question you want to our guest.
Awesome. And that person will certainly be far more educated than me. I don't know if they're going to have the awesome jokes, though. All right. Okay. All right. And last but not least, just want to say thank you to our national supporters. So these are folks that donated $25,000 or more to Let's Talk Science. You may not know this, but yes, we are a national charitable organization. Myself, Sabine, and Emmanuel, we are employees of Let's Talk Science, but the bulk of our organization is made up of volunteers. There's tons and tons and tons of us all over the country from coast to coast to coast. And yeah, we can't do this without the help of some of folks helping us. So that's what you're going to see there. We do have a little bit of extra time. So once these slides are done, it's going to go black, and then I'm going to get rid of that, and you'll see all three of our faces. We will hang around for a couple of minutes. If anyone has like any super serious like critical emergency questions I want to know, be it a youth participant, a student, or an educator, please let us know. We're going to hang around here. This is also the time when sometimes people ask us really goofy questions like, why do you like Miles Morales so much? Or Sabina, do you like Batman? Or Emmanuel, what is your favorite type of juice? I don't know. This. What's
Sorry.
up? What? Yeah, go ahead.
Asked not a goofy question, but for that asked this. Wait a minute. Don't move.
All right, what's up? Are you getting your pets? I don't want to. I can hear mine. They're hungry. They're hungry. But do we have any questions coming in, Sabina, while Emmanuel's getting her stuff?
Somebody. Oh, she's back.
Oh, there we go.
So this is Merlin, my black cat, named after the wizard. Say hi, Merlin. He doesn't really like that. I just picked him up. He's like really happy. But say hi, Merlin. Hi. I'm gonna let him live now. Okay, you can.
That was not a happy face. That was you just woke me up for this. Were there any like critical questions coming in?
Somebody wanted to know how they can join the Fringe quiz, Emmanuel.
Yes. So on Ask the Adult that register you, the same place that they access the registration form, they can switch to French and have all of the information for French. And if you're looking for something else, a little reminder, our national website, so letstalkscience.ca. Oh, my shirt is in French. So
That's okay,
if you're
right
looking for the French, it's parlonsscience.ca.
Yep.
And if you're looking for the English one, letstalkscience.ca, and you can find all of the information.
That's the one webpage you should remember. I know there was talk about like you can do the activity here or there. If you don't remember this, or you somehow lost the email from the registration, those are the places you want to go to. letstalkscience.ca, all one word, or parlonsscience.ca. That's where you want to go to get that information.
I also put it in the chat right now.
Perfect.
And
Awesome.
there are a lot of questions about the password and the form. So maybe if we could explain that again.
So the participation form is something that you need to put the password in to be eligible for the prizes, because now you're all like registered under your educator name, and maybe for those who are watching the recording and we don't know who you are, that's why. So to be eligible for prizes, you need to fill out the participation form and putting in the password. Today's password is, again, related to cows. Just remember the moo things. You don't have to remember how it was spelled. Trust me, it's not going to be that hard. So moo. And if you're wondering where will be the participation form and everything, tomorrow I will send an email to the adult that registered you with the link. It will also be on the Google Drive folder if you have access to it.
Any other critical questions coming up, or are we good?
I think we're good, Charles.
All right. Okay. Well, maybe wait 1 or 2 more minutes in case someone else pops in. Okay. Yeah, so remember, next week is chemistry. If you like this time that we did this, show up at the exact same time, okay? So it'll be 7 p.m. next Wednesday. We're doing chemistry. Otherwise, as Emmanuel said, you can go on our webpage as well. You can see the different times. And if not, if you're like, I want to do something totally different, tu peux le faire en français si tu veux aussi. And if none of these times work, you can get the recording. Of course, you won't have this interactive element. You'll be talking to just a TV. That's what will be happening there. Yeah. So yeah, folks, if you'd like, please, we're just hanging around here. Like, you don't have to hang around if you don't want to. We're hanging around here just in case there are some questions. Feel free to leave. In about a minute or two, I'm going to close this. It's not that we don't want to talk to you all. We could be here all night, but we will end it because I want to go get some dinner. Like I said, I can hear my cats, and Manuel just woke up her cat. I don't know what's going to happen there. They didn't look happy. So we're just going to wait 1 or 2 more minutes, and we're going to go. So yeah, key thing, I'm going to use an old expression from the Batman show from the 1960s. If you like this time that we did this, same bat time, same bat channel, same day, same time. Next week, we're talking chemistry, though. That's the difference. Okay?
And don't forget tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or
Yes.
4:30 p.m. Central Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time, no, Mountain Time. I don't know.
You're gonna end up doing them all. Yeah.
2:30 Pacific, and I have to go back to the other side of the thing. But yeah, 5:30 tomorrow. You can click on the specific link and join us to ask questions to our.
And it'll be a Q&A session type thing that you'll be doing, talking with the scientists. All right, folks. I'm going to close it up in about 10 seconds. Again, I love you all. Thank you so much for coming here. Have a good day. Please stay safe. I hope we see you next week. It won't be Miles with me. It'll be someone else. Have a good one. Stay safe, folks. Bye-bye.